with Vanderbilt. So lots of health experts and others who are able to provide data and information and clarity around where we are as a city, given our current metrics and our past metrics as well.
It's been said that schools, despite the community spread, it has been said schools are not super spreaders. The CDC and the AAP has given high recommendations that schools can be open safely with proper protocols. Why hasn't we made that type of approach and making that an option for our families that want in person? We know that the last survey was about half and half, I think, in person and virtual. So families want to know that answer. They want to know why is it that we are not taking those type of approaches to get the students back in school.
So first and foremost, we have given the preference for our families of in-person and virtual. In-person when it's safe for us to be in person, which is what we were able to prioritize and make happen back in the fall. I've also communicated our desire and prioritization to do that here in the spring as well once we get our numbers and metrics under control. Listen, I don't think anybody agrees with the fact that we want to prioritize getting students back in the in-person environment. But it's imperative on us as a city, as a state, to do what's necessary to mitigate the spread of the virus. Community spread matters. And with all of the talk and the recommendations around the safety for us to get back to the in-person environment, it's important for us to note that that is based on our ability to get strong mitigation practices in place. It's based on our ability to have smaller class sizes. It's based on our ability to address some of the ventilation concerns that have been there. And so those are things that we have identified early on, and that is very difficult for a large urban school district to achieve. We cannot guarantee that our students will be 6 feet or 3 feet apart at every given time, particularly on school buses or in the classroom. So while I recognize and my team recognizes the prioritization of getting students back in the in-person environment, it's important for us to not lose sight of all the other factors that have to be in play in order for us to be able to do that safely.
Okay. No, and I think what you said was definitely some points that I can say that other aligning districts or neighboring districts, they've done just that. Even though some of their transmission rates have been high up and down, they have been able to put protocols in place and be able to still have in-person learning for their students, or even a hybrid effect. And the reason why I mention this is because parents are very concerned about Metro Nashville Public Schools not being able to factor in the same things that other schools, if it's neighboring counties, if it's even our private schools, they don't have. They've been in old buildings, and they don't have the ventilation that we talk about. Not always, and so I think it's just we just kind of stand out that we haven't really tried and put protocols in place as the CDC, the AAP, other professionals that have said that we can get back into the classroom safely. So that's what they want us to hear. That's the reason why I'm asking these questions.
Absolutely. And I will say it would be false to kind of summarize that as that we've not made the effort. We have definitely prioritized and were able to accomplish getting our students back into the school building for our exceptional education students and our elementary students back in the fall. What cannot be compared is a district of, 100 and total, 60 plus schools across our district to one school. We also can compare in size because even in those surrounding county scenarios, they do not compare in size to Metro Nashville Public Schools. But I think you had another question.
No, I just wanted to piggyback off the size. Now, yeah, we are a large urban school district. We have lost several students, so we're about a little bit over 79,000. We went from 84 to 86,000 students.
No, I believe we're over 81,000 students to date.
Okay, I thought we were at 70. I thought we got a number of 79,000. So we, yes, we are urban school district. It goes back to parents are saying we got to have virtual, half in person. That one that has it that took the option, and because we have basically cut things in half, why is it that we cannot transition back into the school safely with protocols in place, just like we tried it in the fall? You know, their ask is, you know, classroom sizes are smaller because you don't have everybody there at one time. And so that's kind of been another concern surrounding students are not being able to go back to school in person. Could you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
You know, it doesn't break down to that simple kind of math just when you're talking about half and half. It depends on what school, what grade levels of students that are in those schools. I know it seems simple. It's not that simple, particularly when you have several schools that had a larger portion of students who were returning to the in-person learning versus others. So all of that still matters to our ability to be able to operate fully in this COVID space. And as I started this whole conversation, as we're digging into our students, our prioritization remains the same. The community spread matters. We are layering in additional mitigation strategies to help our ability to sustain our students' ability to be in the in-person setting as soon as we get there. And so we'll continue to prioritize, again, our exceptional education students first, our pre-K 4 students, and then our transition grades 5 and 9, and then the rest of our middle and high school students. So I'm just as hopeful and optimistic as everyone else that we will get there sooner rather than later, given those mitigation strategies that we're currently planning around and implementing.
You had mentioned Vanderbilt, and what was the doctor that's working with us?
Hank, you want to speak to the team that's working on the vaccination plan, please?
Yes. So we have I believe his title is Deputy Chief of Staff for the Vanderbilt Medical Center, Dr. John Morris, who is leading Vanderbilt's efforts around their vaccine distribution. So that's who we work with on that. That was the doctor I was talking about earlier.
Okay, and then also along with Meharry in the health department?
Dr. Hildreth leads Meharry Medical College, and Dr. Gil Wright is the interim director of the Metro Department of Health.
Okay. All right. That was my